definitely. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rose, the College and Career Readiness Manager. Before we get started, I definitely wanted to reach out to you guys to let you know more about the program we have. It's called the Bridge to College. It's all about helping you guys transition smoothly into like from high school into college or career, along with 4 school counselors who are here to really help you guys out. So we wanted to make sure that you guys are receiving like the Signal Vine text messages. They're coming up from us. Essentially, they're like updates and reminders around like trade school, like any or just college in general. So we wanted to really make sure that you have all the information that you really need. And remember, we're always here to like help you guys if you have like any kind of questions or need assistance. Feel free to really utilize the school counselors, and they'll definitely help and lend out like a hand for you guys. But um, so let's get to the exciting part, and I really wanted to introduce to 2 amazing individuals here. They're guided pathway advisors at NCC. So please welcome Genesis and Akosua. And they're super knowledgeable, especially and passionate on just overall helping students and navigate the college journey and their NCC process. So yeah, I'm gonna pass it to you guys to start your presentation. And yeah, enjoy. I hope you guys enjoy.
Thanks, Rose. Hi, everyone. My name is Akosua, and I am a Guided Pathways Advisor at Norwalk Community College. And I'll pass it to Genesis.
Hi, everyone. My name is Genesis with Akosua. I am also a Guided Pathway Advisor here at Norwalk Community College.
So today we're here to talk about the transfer pathways that NCC offers. And so with community colleges, one of the really great things about attending a community college is the fact that there's so many people there to help you actually transition to your next step, whether it be a 4-year school or even a career path if you choose to just get your associates. And so for us and this presentation, we wanted to talk about how NCC can help you transfer to your next step, and the resources and support that we offer at NCC. So I am going to share my screen, and we are going to start the presentation. So Rose, let me know if you can see everything.
You're all good.
Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, there we go. Is that good? All right, so like I said, we're here to talk about the transfer pathways at NCC, and we're going to explain a little bit more about what the community college colleges are looking like right now, so that you have an idea of what's going on once you enter into your first year. So the workshop goals will give you an overview of the transfer process and the steps that you need to take to transfer to a 4-year college or university. Then we're going to talk about resources NCC has in place to support you and create your path to transfer. And then we're going to look at different direct transfer pathways for CT community college students.
So throughout this presentation, we'll be using some language that may be a little bit different than what you're used to. So we want to make sure that we share these vocabulary terms just so you can understand a little bit more and also become acquainted with, your new transition coming into CT State Norwalk. So the credits are a number that a credit number for each course. Usually they're 3 or 4, but a good way to see it is how many hours you are expected to study per week. So for example, usually courses are 3 credits. A way that Akosua and I spoke about when we were discussing the credits were points. So for example, if it's 3 points, that's 1 course. You may see some courses that are 4 points. But ultimately, in order for you to be a full-time student, you need to be up to 12. But instead of points, we want you to be used to credit. So we'll continue to use credit. So in order for you to be a full-time student, you can be 12 credits or more. That means that you are expected to at least study for a couple of hours, depending on the course, per week. Now, when it comes to transcript, that is pretty much your academic record at the institution that you're attending. So whenever you decide to go to a four-year institution or you would like to transfer to a different institution, the transcript is the document that you will need to take with you, which will represent all the courses and indicate all the grades that you have received for all the courses you've enrolled in. Transfer course equivalency is for students who are transferring from one institution to the other. Usually the institution that you are transferring to will evaluate your transcript and see what course is equivalent to the other. So for example, if you take a public speaking course, which is 3 credits, the evaluator at the new institution will look at the course description, how many credits, your grade, and they will be able to transfer that into a different course that will be equivalent to the public speaking course that you took at your home school. So it is very important that you get this transfer course evaluation whenever you plan to transfer to a different institution, because we don't want you to repeat the same course that you've already completed at your home school. DegreeWorks will be a very close resource that you will be working with throughout your academic journey. A DegreeWorks will show what your program requires, and it will show you step by step which course is it suggested for you to enroll in per semester. Another way that DegreeWorks works is that it will show your progress, it will show your GPA, your percentage, it will show your status and your financial aid, and it will also show your guided pathway advisor. Your guided pathway advisor is an academic advisor that will work with you not only on your courses, but also in a holistic approach. So we'll be able to connect you with resources on campus, off campus. We'll talk about what support you need inside and outside of your classrooms. So if you have an IEP, for example, we will connect you to the accessibility services. If there's something going on with your financial aid, we will be able to support you in discussing a better way to resolve any issues that you have with the financial aid department. If you are interested in, let's say, an internship, we'll be able to connect you with our career services. So we are not only here to help you select your courses, but we want to make sure that we understand your academic journey and your career goals. The better we understand this, the better way we are able to support you. So when we talk about GPA, I know for the most part we're used to the grade point average, but at times when we say GPA, we also mean guided pathway advisors. That may be a little bit confusing, even for us, but just stay with us and we'll be sure to work it out.
Okay, so there we go. Okay, so what is CT State? So as you can tell, we kind of go back and forth between like Norwalk Community College and CT State Community College. That's because over the summer, you know, all the community colleges have been undergoing a transition. So by fall 2023, all the 12 community colleges are going under one system, which is CT State Community Colleges. So what that means is that that means a lot of good things. One of them is that if you're a student at any of the 12 community colleges, you're able to take courses at any of the 12 community colleges. So for example, let's say you need a class at NCC, but let's say it's full or NCC doesn't offer it. You can then look at Housatonic, Capital, Gateway, or any other community college to see if they offer that class and you're able to take it there. One thing to note though about this merger is that as you're coming in, start thinking about which program or major you really want to go into, because not all the community colleges offer the same programs and majors. For example, if you want to be a dental hygienist, if that is the program that you eventually want to go into, currently Gateway is the only community college that offers a dental hygienist program. So as you're taking your prerequisite courses, meaning that the classes that you have to take before you apply into the program, you can of course take those classes at any of the community colleges. Once you get accepted into Gateway's dental hygienist program, that means all your program classes are going to be at Gateway. So this is something to keep in mind because it kind of determines location, you know, if you have transportation, which campus you want to be your home campus, because that is the campus that you're going to be graduating from eventually. So essentially, once again, CT State is all the community colleges under one system. And you know, you can work with your guided pathways advisor on which programs you want to get into, and we can figure out from there what makes sense for you to, which classes and things make sense for you to take.
So keeping yourself on track for transfer, it always starts at the beginning. So as soon as you come to NCC, one of the, or Norwalk campus for CT State, one of the things to keep in mind is that your journey starts here. Anytime that you're 0 from 15 credits, you will that will be considered your very first semester. So you will meet with your guided pathway advisor. You're going to determine your plan of study, the sequence, and you're going to start using degree works to ensure that your classes are applied to the program that you choose. Just as Akosua mentioned, if you are, for example, interested in dentistry, or if you want to do architecture, that's the moment that we'll start identifying the career that you are passionate about or you would like to work towards, and we'll start figuring out a plan of action for you. You will also meet with the Center for Career Development and Experiential Learning to explore careers that pertain to your interests. So, for example, if you are someone that would like to do a psychology major, but you wonder where in the where what kind of career you can get with a psychology major, that's when you would work with the Center for Career Developmental and Experiential Learning. So you'll discuss your skills, education, and you have the opportunity to also work with your cover letter, your skills for interviewing, your attire. They literally help you in every aspect of trying to connect you with a better opportunity for employment once you're done here. You will also attend on-campus and virtual transfer events, as well as monthly visits from transfer admissions representative to learn more about colleges and universities. So while students are walking on campus, or if you're on campus and you look at our catalog or our calendar for the year, you will notice that we have scheduled a lot of four-year institutions to visit us or give us presentations regarding what it takes for you to get to those specific programs or get accepted through their admissions process. So we really encourage students to just be on the lookout for this. Just listen to what they have to say. There's a lot of institutions that you may have not thought of, but may pique your interest based on the program that you're interested in.
And one thing I would like to add as Genesis is kind of talking about, how to keep yourself on track for transfer. This is really the time where you have to take your education into your own hands. Because if you know that you want to go into a certain program, working with your guided pathways advisor is the best way to figure out what makes sense for you. Because if you think about it, if you have financial aid, you're paying for these classes, and you don't want to take a class that is not going to go towards the program that you eventually want to get into. And so we, encourage students to go at their own pace. But one of the most important things to think about is what classes is necessary, right? And then you making sure that you're holding yourself accountable on getting the grades that is needed in those classes for those programs that you want to get into.
So you completed your first semester at CT State, and you want to continue to keep yourself on track to transfer. So as Akosua had mentioned, you are highly encouraged, and we would really like to push you to continue to work with your guided pathway advisor. This will ensure that the plan that you put in action the previous semester has succeeded. If something didn't work, then we'll switch something up to make sure that the next semester we set you up for success. So this is why it's really important for you to check in with your guided pathway advisor, not only at the beginning and end of your semester, but throughout the semester as well. We will also go again over your degree works, the courses that you completed. If something didn't go right, we'll be able to create another academic plan for you. Talk with admissions representative for schools that you're interested in So if you saw some of those schools through a virtual presentation or on campus, now you start gathering an idea of what type of schools you want to go to, maybe the location, maybe the programs, and maybe you may be aware of more information from an admissions representative now that you started discussing those opportunities with them. And we encourage you to visit four-year institutions as well. You know, the environment is also important. We want to make sure that um, your personality, your goals, and the type of program that you're interested in fits in well with the institution and the campus. You will be spending a lot of time there. So we want to make sure that you go see it in person and you see what it feels like, and you start, maybe talking to staff members or other students that are currently attending. So we highly encourage, if it's possible, for you to visit those institutions. And you can also gather more information while you're there and look at the programs that they're offering. Especially start being mindful of the deadlines. I mean, you're still early in your journey, but it's always good to start being mindful of those deadlines so you know what you're working towards. So you're pretty much done with your first year. Now you're moving on to your second year. We're gonna start reviewing application deadlines. We have to be mindful of that. You're gonna complete applications for your colleges and universities. You're gonna start ordering official transcripts to be sent to those colleges. If you are not sure of one specific college or university that you want to go to, that is totally okay. You're not supposed to come here and have it all figured out. If you do, that's amazing. But if you don't, that's why we're here. So if it's more than one application, this is why you want to give yourself some time to start working on those individual applications, because each institution may have something specific or something catered to them that you may have to work on individually. You're going to ask faculty, staff members, employers that you've interacted with throughout your academic journey here, and you're going to request for letters of recommendation. You may be in a club, you may be president of a club, you may be in the honor society, you may have connected with a different guided pathway advisor, or even better, with an instructor. And what better way than to ask those individuals that have gotten to know you and work with you through these important parts of your journey. So this is when you start giving them enough time also, because the deadlines are you know what the deadlines are. You want to make sure that you give individuals that you're asking for recommendation letters enough time to get that information to you before the deadline. You're also going to start completing your FAFSA, and you're going to start applying for scholarships that you can take with you to that four-year institution. In your FAFSA application, you are able to add up to 10 schools. So again, don't feel limited to, or don't feel pressure to know exactly what institution you want to go to. You have a little bit of moving room, so you can add as much as 10 schools for you to, you to send your information to, just to see what they may offer. If you're graduating from NCC, then it's time for you to apply for graduation. And if you have any questions or there's something that you don't understand, again, this is the first time we're all going through this process. And the best point of contact person that can provide any support regarding this process will be your guided pathway advisor.
Okay, so now you are at I don't want to say the end, but like the comma in your college journey. You're ready to transfer. You figured out the four-year school that you want to go into. Or, if there's a program at a different college or something that you want to go into, you figured out those things. Start thinking about, meeting with the colleges and representatives at NCC. Like Genesis already mentioned, we do have colleges come on campus with representatives, and they're there to answer any of your questions, especially if you are thinking about transferring. That's their main goal, because they're recruiting from our campus, right? They want students to come into their schools. And so those are the people that you definitely want to get in touch with. Get an email, get a contact person, so that you can get all your questions answered. And then, like Genesis said as well, like our transfer fairs. So we hold transfer fairs for students, and this gives you the opportunities to meet with the admissions representatives from those different colleges and universities, and they can answer all your questions about what it means to transfer to their school. Keep in mind, some colleges have different requirements depending on the program that you want to go into. So for example, if you want to transfer to UConn, UConn's business school requires, I believe, a 3.0 versus general UConn other majors that may require a 2.7, right? So that's where it's important to think about the actual major and the actual career path you want to go into, so that you're getting as specific as possible and those requirements you're meeting while you're here at NCC. And now that you've researched your colleges, met with the transfer representatives, that is your opportunity to visit the colleges. Make sure you know all their deadlines and requirements. Most colleges have a transfer student page where they will list all the requirements that you need as a transfer student. There may be an application you need to fill out. There may be recommendation letters that you're gonna need from either professors or other faculty or staff members. And so make sure to do your research and understand the requirements to transfer so that you have those things in order before you transfer. And know the deadlines. That is the main thing. Know the deadlines. Because once those applications are closed, they're closed. And you may have to wait till, when they open again. So definitely keep in mind the deadlines and getting your financial plan in order. So what does, your FAFSA look like? What other financial support are you going to need? Are you going to be on campus? Are you going to be commuting? These are all things that go into what your finances are going to look like. So you really also have to think about that. And then you apply to transfer. So speak with an advisor at the school that you're interested in regarding the transfer credits. So once again, transfer credits are courses that you can take into the other school to cover any of the courses that they have there that you may be required to take there. So like Genesis mentioned before, you don't want to repeat a class that you've already taken at NCC and you've passed it. And so those transfer credits are super important. You can request to meet with an advisor even before you transfer, just to say, hey, this is what my academics look like at NCC. I'm looking to transfer soon. What are my chances? So this all goes into advocating for yourself as a student and being proactive so that you are prepared for your transfer when the time comes. And then request your college and high school transcripts, from NCC. Okay, now we're going to talk about scholarship opportunities, so free money.
Yes, so the foundation here offers a lot of scholarships opportunity for students, not only coming in here while you're here and when you're ready to transfer to another institution. So we're gonna go over specifically, we're gonna go over the scholarships that you can take with you. But I want you to know that scholarship opportunities are available for students who are enrolled here and will be enrolling here this upcoming fall. So the first scholarship is RN to BSN scholarship. This transfer scholarship program offers students who earn an RN at NCC the opportunity to receive additional assistance while pursuing a BSN at a four-year institution. This award is renewable for up to 3 years of study if academic standards are met. So this is an addition to your financial aid offer. So if you are a student who's interested in nursing, graduated here from the nursing program, you have financial aid. This is free money that you don't have to pay back, and we encourage you to take advantage of that. The Dream Scholarship is a scholarship opportunity that provides high achieving NCC graduates who is pursuing a bachelor's degree with financial assistance to a four-year institution. This award is also renewable for a second year of study if academic standards are met. This scholarship in particular is eligible for childhood immigrants who attended and graduated from a U.S. high school, but is not yet a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, and have a minimum of 3.0 cumulative GPA at NCC. So for those students who may apply for ACTIS, we also have a scholarship opportunity for this specific group of students. The LEAP scholarship, it provides also a high achieving NCC graduates who are pursuing a bachelor's degree with financial assistance for a four-year institution as well. For this scholarship, you will need a 3.5 GPA and you must be a US citizen or permanent resident. This award is also renewable for a second year of study if you're meeting the academic standards as well. So we do have a little bit of everything for everyone, or we do try our best at least. So please feel encouraged to follow up with these opportunities. Please don't let it go by. And I know we've repeated throughout this presentation about how important the deadlines are, but the reason we stress it and we repeat it throughout the slides are because we really don't want you to miss the opportunity. And we really want to encourage the students to be mindful of those important dates so they can take advantage of all these resources.
Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay, fee waivers. So, Genesis, can you take over this one, please?
Yeah, that is fine.
Oh, girl.
I just want to make sure you're good.
Girl, let me go ahead.
So for fee waivers, many of the students would know that once you go through the admissions process at a four-year institution, not all the institutions are free when you're applying for them. You will have an admissions fee, and for that, we also have a resource. So the Connecticut Talent Assistant Cooperative, their mission for them is to promote and expand equal educational access and opportunity for Connecticut residents. So they're also known as Contact. So they provide support services, including financial aid for residents from low-income households, veterans, first-generation educational backgrounds, to give them reasonable, realistic opportunities to succeed. And with that being said, part of that is making sure that those fees are waived. Our contact person for that is DeShayla Shelley. She is amazing, very helpful. Many of you may be familiar with her because she does take the time to go to a lot of high schools and go and work one-on-one with many students. But here is her information, and we highly encourage you to get in contact with her once you're in that threshold of making the next move to apply to the institutions that you want to transfer to. If there's a way that you can save or not have to pay for those for that fee just to apply for the institution, just to probably decide that you may not go there in the first place, why would you not get in contact and see how you can get those fees waived?
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a specific transfer program that NCC offers, which is the Guaranteed Admissions Program, aka the UConn Gap Program. So the UConn Gap Program is an agreement between UConn and the Connecticut Community College System, where students who are enrolled in the Gap program and also have the requirements, and we're going to talk about the requirements in a little bit to be in the Gap program, you are guaranteed admissions to UConn, and it's any of the UConn campuses, not just Storrs. So as you can see here, the programs that fall under the Gap program would be liberal arts and sciences, the College of Agriculture, so any majors within the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources, and the School of Business at UConn. So, yep. So to qualify for admissions, one, you need to complete and apply for the Gap program before completing 30 or fewer transferable credits. So once again, credits are essentially, one way to think about them is how many points a class is worth. Usually some programs or most programs to complete are 60 credits. If you have 30 or fewer credits while you're at NCC, you're eligible to apply for the UConn Gap program. One thing about the UConn Gap program is this is really for students who are really, really interested in UConn, because you are going to be connected with a Gap advisor that will work with you one-on-one to make sure that the classes you're taking is actually going to be transferable to UConn. So there's a whole host of people in the background making sure that you as a student is actually completing whatever requirements UConn has given us in order for you to get that guaranteed admissions. So if you know UConn is where you want to go, then the Gap program is really, something that you should look into. Also, to qualify, you must earn an associate's in the liberal arts and sciences transfer a degree within 5 years, earn a cumulative GPA of 3.0. The minimum GPA for the School of Business is 3.3, and student must complete all the prerequisites for the School of Business. And then you must plan to earn a bachelor's degree, like I said, in liberal arts and sciences, agriculture, health, natural resources, or the business school.
Of course, if somebody had a question that says, do I have to apply to join in? So the when you meet with your guided pathway advisor and you let them know that you are interested in the GAP program, we'll have you complete an interest form for GAP. They're gonna make sure that the GAP advisors, because you have specific advisors with GAP, they're gonna assess your credits, your courses, your GPA, and once you're admitted into the program, they'll let you know and you'll start working with them. But that doesn't mean that you're just shifted to another advisor. You'd be able to select your courses with them, but be sure that you still have your GPA and you have a group of advisors supporting you and working together to get you to the end line.
Thanks for that, Genesis. Okay, so special transfer programs and transfer tickets, Connecticut State colleges and universities. So how it works is that community colleges can complete an associate's degree programs that transfer to all CT State four-year universities and Charter Oak State colleges. So if you're looking to transfer into any of the 4 state universities, Southern, Western, Central, and Eastern, as well as the Charter Oak State College, there are transfer tickets. We call them transfer tickets, which are essentially majors that they have put together these courses that will directly transfer to any of these 4 state colleges. So depending on the grade that you get, of course, if you have the grade for the course or the I would say the program, you can get transfer credits directly into those 4 community colleges. Now, if it's a private college or out-of-state college, that's a little bit more tricky because a lot of them have their own system. And so that's where you, once again, you work with your guided pathways advisor to make sure that the courses you're taking here will transfer to the courses at those private institutions or out-of-state institutions. But if you are looking to do in-state institutions, those credits are a little bit easier in terms of transferring if you're looking at those 4 in-state ones. So essentially, you will start with an associate's from any of the Connecticut community colleges. In this case, you will start with an associate's at NCC, and then you finish with a bachelor's at any of the CT State University or state colleges. So one program we wanted to highlight, or I guess one major, I should say, we wanted to highlight is the liberal arts and sciences transfer major. And we wanted to highlight this because we know as high school students coming into college, sometimes you don't know what you want to do, and that is okay. And you don't want to pigeonhole yourself into a specific major and then change your mind later. One, it's okay to change your mind. I always tell students I changed my mind in my junior year and look at where I am today. So it's always okay to change your mind. But the great thing about the liberal arts and sciences transfer is that if you are a student who changes their mind a lot or does not know what they want to do, this would be a great major to start off with. It caters to most of the programs at four-year institutions, and it gives you multiple opportunities to fulfill specified program requirements with flexibility, meaning that it gives you enough chances at different credits to fulfill that can be transferable over to a four-year program or university, so that you're getting as many credits transferred over as possible, so that you can start off as either, you know, a second-year sophomore or a first semester junior. And so that's what the LAS transfer degree does, and we want to highlight it because we don't want y'all to feel like you have to know, you know, what you want to do right now and then you have to stick to it. No, you have many, many options. You're on mute.
Such a rookie mistake. I'm sorry. Whether it's UConn, any of the CT State schools or private college, our guided pathway advisors here are ready to assist you throughout your journey here. figuring out what you want to do, whether it's transfer to a different institution or get ready with your career. So once you become a student, just be mindful that you will be assigned a guided pathway advisor based on your interest. We will ask what kind of major you're interested in. Like Akosua said, if you want to change your mind, that is totally okay. This is what you're here for. And without you, we wouldn't be here. So we're just here to help you figure your journey out. So we encourage you to connect with them. We will be located in 3 different hubs. The first one is the Academic Counseling Center. The second one is the Student Success Center, which actually I'm in right now. And we focus in the STEM and business area. The Guided Pathway Advising West, which actually Akosia's office is there. They do a lot of liberal arts and general studies, including arts and humanities. And anyone that's interested in health and allied psychology, social behavior, that will be with the Academic Counseling Center. However, don't feel like because you're assigned to someone in that area and you decided that you want to do theater after declaring your major accounting, that is totally okay. We are all generalists, so we are very mindful and aware of all the courses and journeys that students are interested in. You can always give us a call at this number, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you and helping you with your academic journey here at NCC.
All right, so I am going to close the presentation, and then we're gonna answer the questions because I know we had a bunch of them in the chat. So let me stop sharing my screen, and we can get to some of those questions. I'm just gonna start at the top.
Yes, please.
Okay, so we have a question. So if I want to follow a career, but NCC doesn't offer that specific career, you guys help us figure out the classes that make sense before you transfer to a school that does offer that specific career. Genesis, you want to take that or you want me to?
I'm trying to like reread. If I want to follow a career, but NCC doesn't offer that, yes, we help you figure it out. So for example, students who are interested in being a doctor, we don't have a med track, we don't have a pre-med track, but what we do is help you figure out how you can start working on your biology courses and your science courses, your general education courses, so that when you get to a school that does have pre-med, you still have all those prereqs met. So we want to make sure that while your time is here, you're using it to value and making sure that we're cutting the time of when you're transferring to your 4-year institution.
And I want to point out, as we're answering these questions, if you want to, come off mute and, you want us to clarify a little bit more or give us a follow-up question, you can do that as well, because we want to make sure that we're giving you the information that you need. So Andres, does that answer your question? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yes, he said yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
He said yes.
Okay, so does it apply if I'm doing part-time school? Yes. So like I said previously, here at NCC, we really encourage you to go at your own pace. Like Genesis mentioned before, most if you want to be a full-time student, that is 12 or more credits, and that is usually 4 or more classes. If you want to be part-time, that is less than 12 credits, and that is usually 3 or less credits. We know that our students have a whole bunch of things going on. Life be lifing. If you have a job, if you have a part-time job, full-time job, you take care of family, if you have, other responsibilities, we want to make sure that you're going at the pace that you need to, because the most important thing is passing these classes and getting those GPAs so that you can either graduate or get the transfer requirements met for the school that you want to go into. So if you're doing part-time, that is good as well, because if that's the pace you want to go, that is the pace that you want to go.
And I think we answered do I have to apply to join it? I think that was regarding the GAP program. So I mean, these were a few questions that we had. We're really happy that you were able to ask them, because someone else may have those same questions. But feel free to reach out to us. We'll be available. Rose has our information, and we'll be happy to go ahead and discuss any specific or particular situation that you're experiencing, and we'll try to figure it out and give you as much information as we can.
Yeah. And yes, Andres, go ahead. You can unmute.
Oi, All right, so mine is very personal. I'm doing a trade. I was in, hold on. I was like eating, my bad. All right. All right, so I'm doing a trade and I'm actually joining a union and they pay for my college, but I have to do it 2 years with them. So I have to be 2 years with the union. So I figured I would speed up my process by going to NCC and taking core classes since I want to get into general construction management and get my bachelor's. That's why I was wondering, like, I'm not sure what core classes really are other than what they're said, like the basic classes that every like kind of career takes, but I didn't know what classes that would be to take. That's why I didn't sign up and yada yada yeah. That's why I was wondering if you guys help you with like, if you guys if I were to go to your office or something like that, we sit down and then we kind of like look at it together. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean?
I know, we know what you mean, Andres. Don't worry, we know exactly what you mean. That's actually a big part of our role here. So we literally sit down with the student, whether it's in person or virtual, and we talk about those goals. We talk about the specific situation, like, okay, your goal is that you want to get a bachelor's in construction management. And if you know some of the institutions that you want to go to, we'll look at the program and we'll see like, okay, we actually have most of these courses here at NCC. So we can start enrolling you there so that you can take those over there. So it's a
I've
conversation that you have one-on-one and you'll figure that out together.
so first I probably have to apply to NCC. I didn't do none of this stuff because I
Yeah, you
wasn't gonna
gotta
go
You
to
get
still have
college.
time.
first.
You still have time, but you do have to
When
apply
is the deadline?
because we don't have
Um,
a deadline
But
but classes are already closing up. So we want to make sure that even though we're an institution that we're flexible with the deadlines, just be mindful that other institutions are not. So the earlier you do
yeah,
it, the better. You still have time. Courses start August
I
29th.
I like went to NCC maybe like 2 weeks ago and I got
Mhm.
like the papers, but I still have to go get my doctor. And I work during the day. I do construction, so I
Okay.
work from like 4:30 in the morning to like 4 in the afternoon. So it's very hard for me to call it like contact my high school to get my transcript because by the time I get home, they're
Mhm.
like knocked out or well, they're not knocked out, but they're like at home. Like they're
No,
they're they're
we understand that,
Wait,
but
from what time, Andres? Sorry, because we actually have counselors and their schedules are very flexible. Sometimes, like if
to
needed,
get
they
my
will.
transcript.
Yeah,
yeah.
they will because they work with actual school, so they could connect you really quickly.
So I work, well, technically it's from 6 to 4. I get home at 4 or to 6 to 2:30, but I'm home at 4. I'm not available until 4.
Yeah, so some of our counselors are able to be flexible with you. Again, that's something that you would have to schedule with them and check their Calendly. So it's really important to look at those messages so you can actually set up a one-on-one meeting with them and try to navigate what places that you're able to apply to NCC to, or they can even
When
connect you with that.
when you say counselors, this is the person that's texting me, right?
Yeah, so the Signal Vine
They're
Texas
actual
messages,
people.
they're actually, yeah, exactly. They're actual people. They're actual like school counselors
Yeah,
from
I have
till.
Miss Principe. I think that Miss Principe,
Okay, okay, yes,
Miss.
yes. So she's actually specialized for trade school. Essentially, she wanted to meet with you. I actually spoke to her. She said she was gonna follow up with you to see if you can schedule a
I
time.
just texted her. She don't respond.
She don't respond. Okay, I'm gonna follow up with her to see
Can
what's
I just
going
call
on.
them? Like, are these real numbers or these numbers don't
Yeah,
ring?
they're real numbers. So essentially, it would probably go directly to a voicemail, depending. But if you look up into the messages, try to see the Calendly link, and it connects you directly to her calendar
With
to
the
set
the
up
the
an actual
the.
appointment.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh shoot, it is
Yes,
a real person.
yes.
While
Oh,
we are on the topic of trades, I do want to say if you do want to do a trade, for example, go to a trade school, like even if you don't want to do a 4-year school and you want to go directly into a trade school, what some students don't know is that some trade schools do require you to still have your English, your math, your sciences, things like that, and you can complete those at NCC. So once again, like Genesis said, we can look at what college or where you want to go and line up their requirements to what you can take here so that it makes sense and that you're able to easily transfer over.
Oh, well, I don't think I'm doing a trade, but I'm not going to a trade school. I'm going directly to a union since I've been doing this since I was like 14. So I just kind of
Okay,
skipped
Andres,
that
putting in the
process.
work since early.
Nah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, like essentially the only reason why I'm doing the trade is because to gain the career that I want to have, you have to have experience at the site. So that's why I'm just doing it from now. And I didn't go to college directly. And also just because my dad works, so it's easier for me now to do it than later.
Okay. Well, it's really good that you are part of the student population that knows exactly where they want to go. So that's really helpful. We'll just encourage you to continue to work with your high school counselors. And email always works, so even if you're coming home and office hours are closed, the
Somebody
next
could
day
come.
while you're working and the counselor on the other side comes in the morning, they'll be able to see and throughout the day work on your request. The same
My
goes for
counselor's on
us.
vacation.
Oh, but they're gonna come
They're
back.
people.
So, the point is that there are always ways to make things work. So we don't
Yeah.
want you to also feel like things aren't working, or we don't want you to give up, because there are ways to make it work. Okay. So Rose is also a really great point of contact, but you see Akosi and I here. So now you have two friendly faces at NCC. And if
Exactly.
you need something, you know where to reach out.
I'm gonna just make a meeting with Miss Francesca
That should be
Princeby.
the first thing you
Yep.
do.
I'm
Awesome.
doing that right now because my counselor comes back like at the beginning of the school year, and I want to apply to the school so I could see you guys around and get help from you guys as soon as possible.
Awesome.
Um, but no, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing,
Mhm.
Andres. We look forward to having you.
One more thing, before this ends, I kind of wanted to let you guys know that I dropped a tool, like a resource tool. So check it out. It's pretty much useful to like really guide the pay scales, the job seekers, whether this job is going to be available like within the next 5 years. So really utilize that tool, honestly, and it projects honestly the income that you're going to be making hourly, yearly, and it compares to like the expected jobs that are going to be available with that career path too. So you utilize this tool, it's free, and search and explore honestly, and you really guide yourself with this tool.
Any
Um,
other questions?
where did you
Verlene,
post?
Stephanie. Oh,
Oh, it's the chat, right?
It's in the chat. Sorry, let
The
me see.
admission.
No,
no, keep going
I
up.
shared it again.
Oh. And this
Mhm.
is to see. Oh yeah, I think this. This to see what, like income.
Like any type of job that you're interested in, it pretty much shows you like the income, the expected salary within the year, projected like jobs available within that year or the next 5 years. So it really does lay out like whether that job there's enough like jobs available within that career path.
So it's gonna show me that I'm gonna be rich.
It's going to
All
show you
right.
it's whether you want to live comfortable or depending on the occupation you want to go into.
No, yeah. All right then. I think I've looked into some of these before. They tell you like if the job rate is up, job rate. Yep.
Hmm. Definitely utilize that, to be honest. Is really I think it's helpful, to be honest, especially if there's a lot of ways to go around with the construction. There's a lot of jobs around that just really goes unnoticed sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't know there was construction scuba diving until like the other day when I went
Right,
to the
there's so
union.
many jobs, like occupations that is out there, just
Yep. I don't
All
know.
right.
That's all my
So
questions.
we don't want to go over time, but we definitely want to give y'all like, you have two of us right now. Doesn't mean that, this is the end all. Like Rose mentioned, you do have your counselors. So please that those should be the first people you should talk to anyway, before you even get to us, because they will connect you to us. But are there any lingering questions or anything we can clarify before we end this? I'm giving it Lauren's 7-second rule.
Lauren 7 seconds.
So Rose put up a poll, if you can fill that out, because that tells us, how we're doing with these presentations, if this is helpful for you, things like that, because once again, our main priority is to give you the information that you need so that we can make this process as easy as possible for you. And all you have to focus on is your education and getting, to where you want to go. But I think we are good. Fill out that poll. And we really just want to encourage you, once again, community colleges are a stepping stone to where you want to go. It's also the cheapest stepping stone if you are looking at 4-year colleges. We are really here to help you get to these to your goals, as easy as possible. So reach out to us. You have our information. Connect with Rose or your counselor to connect with us, and we can answer any questions that do come up in the future.
Yes, I'm gonna share my my number here too, just in case, and my email as well to help me connect. Just in case you have any lingering questions, I can probably share this with Akosua and Genesis. Once again, thank you guys. Honestly, this was a really great presentation. And I hope you guys all learned something and took something away from this. Please share it with any of your friends if you think we have upcoming workshops available soon for the next week. Once again, just thank you all for participating and joining this Zoom.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right, thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.